Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm super excited to bring you this one today because as you can see right here, we just set a world record on Daily Race B on Nürburgring GP. So before we get started, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. And if you find this video helpful, leave a like. And with that being said, let's take a look at the car. So we're using the Mazda Atenza. It seems to be the strongest GR4 car for this event. And the really important thing to consider here is that this is a PP restricted event. The limit is 630 performance points. So you have to build and tune so you stay within that. And I'll have a video discussing the problem with this because there's a very interesting way of taking advantage of the PP system in this game to the point where you can make blatantly overpowered cars because the game doesn't recognize how fast the car actually is. I'll go over that more in that video. Let's just look at the build of the car. So on this we have a high RPM turbo and then a fully customizable transmission. The full computer should come on the car already and everything else should be all set. So the reason this has so much power is the gears are very short. That's the gist of the problem. So when I go over the gear set, I'll explain that more. But this was very difficult to achieve because, as you can see, my performance points are 0.01 below the limit. So I really had to balance everything where I wanted it while still keeping it below the limit. Like, I'll change this one thing and I'm over the limit. So I really had to set everything carefully. So a lot of stuff is similar to what I've talked about before. I would probably go a little more aggressive on the roll bars if I could, but I can't because I'm already at the limit. And natural frequency, same thing. I would like to go softer, but it didn't have too much of a negative effect on handling. Mostly the bumps. Nürburgring GP is kind of a bumpy track, so I wanted to go softer, but I really couldn't because I would be over the limit. The biggest difference between this and my other tunes is the camber. So not only is this a sweet spot for performance points, this car actually, not only does it like a bit more camber than others, but the first sector of the track in particular, it has some tricky sections that really need camber in order to take them properly. And I was trying my typical zero camber tricks and it wasn't working. It just would not take the corners at the speed I liked. So we have some camber in here. And then the differential, since we can't set the torque distribution on this car can actually kind of get out of hand on throttle and off throttle sometimes. So we've set the differential to be pretty easy on acceleration, so you're not going to wheel spin that much when you put down the throttle. And then the front wheels are set up aggressive so they can rotate through the corner and you're not getting on throttle understeer. And as far as the decel settings or the braking sensitivity, since we had to be biased towards understeer with the natural frequency and our roll bars aren't as aggressive as we like, we can actually go a little more aggressive on the differential to compensate. As far as the downforce, since when you see the replay, you'll see the gear is actually just about run out. So running less downforce isn't really going to help you because you're hitting your top speed even with this much aero. So I just put quite a bit of downforce on, found a balance I liked, made sure it was under the performance limit, and that's pretty much all there is to it. There's no ballast in the car. You can ignore this positioning. It doesn't do anything if there's no ballast. And then the restrictor is just set to meet the performance point restriction. And then I have my brake balance at 2. I found this necessary to get it to rotate in the first sector, especially in turn 1. But if you find it loose on the brakes, then you can, as always, dial this forward. Now, the gears. This is where things get silly. So my top speed is automatically adjusted to 250, and then you can see this gearbox. This is not an ideal gearbox. It's actually not that bad, but it's definitely not ideal. But having the 6th gear at this specific value changes everything. If you try to make it one click longer, it increases your performance points by 20. So you have to set your gears this way, and then I've tailored the other gears to be decent for corners. I didn't really change much from 3rd gear. Actually, my origin of this gearbox is from Mr. MCA. He made a setup for this car, and the gearbox there is actually very good. I just made some very small changes to this gearbox. So big shout out to him. I'll link his channel in the description so you can go check out his video as well. But yeah, that's all there is to this. If you're struggling on how to get such a fast car with such a low performance rating, This gearbox trick is how you do it. Again, I'll have a video discussing that in much further detail coming up soon. But as far as the setup, guys, that's all there is. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you find it helpful. Again, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you like this video, leave a like. And that's all I got. See you next time.